Our hands. Our hands, Ryan Jenkins.
What did it take to bring joy to the entire world? It took the two hands of an American druggist who invented Coca-Cola. Lately, I've been consumed by this idea of how you and I put our hands into action to impact those around us. We help no one if our compassion, our goodness, our talents lack the action of our hands. What did it take to leave people breathless at the Sistine Chapel? The two hands of a skilled painter. What did it take for you to encourage a loved one? A hand on the shoulder? A kindly written note? Our ability to impact is locked in our hands. And although there is so much good that it can extend from our hands, there's also evil. And our hands are also capable of inflicting immeasurable pain. And on April 20th, 1999, it took 4 deadly hands to kill innocent people and bring an entire nation to its knees in mourning. But it only took the two hands of a little girl to restore that very nation. Good evening, contest master and friends. The painful event that brought our country to its knees in mourning was caused by 2 high school seniors who used their hands to lock and load shotguns and semi-automatic rifles to massacre 12 students, 1 teacher, and injure 24 others. These were the shootings at Columbine High School. Now, I did not attend Columbine, but I grew up 10 minutes from the school, which is why the story cuts so very deep for me. Because I had countless friends that were impacted and who will never be the same after the nightmare they witnessed in the lunchroom that day. And for me, it is so incredibly hard to imagine any good coming out of such a dark and rage-infused event. But I'm here to tell you tonight that there is good. And there will forever be a never-dimming light that has trumped the darkness. And that light is Rachel Scott. Rachel was the first victim of the Columbine massacre. She was shot while eating lunch. She died of multiple gunshot wounds to the head, chest, arm, and leg. The perpetrators mocked her for her beliefs, and yet she remained steadfast in her faith, and she died a martyr for her Christian faith. She was 17 years old. Rachel's funeral was attended by over 2,000 people, and it was televised nationwide, and up until that point, it was the most viewed event in CNN history, even surpassing the funeral of Princess Diana. One little girl who had done nothing famous except be genuinely compassionate impacted an entire nation. 1 month prior to the shootings, Rachel sat down and with her hands, she wrote an essay. And it was in that essay that she explained her theory. She wrote, I have this theory that if one person can go out of their way to show compassion, it will start a chain reaction of the same. People will never know how far just a little kindness can go. That later became known as Rachel's Challenge, basically stating that we can start that chain reaction of good by just being compassionate to one another. At the same time that Rachel wrote that essay, the 2 mass murderers of Columbine used their hands to create a video where they stated they wanted to start a chain reaction of evil that would poison this world. Coincidence? No. I do not believe in coincidence. Rachel's hands were put into action for a specific purpose, to eclipse that darkness. So what was the catalyst for Rachel's tidal wave of compassion? After Rachel's death, it was found on the backside of her dresser tracings of Rachel's hands. and she had written something inside those hands. Inside the hands were these words. These hands belong to Rachel Joy Scott and will someday touch millions of people's hearts. She wrote that at the age of 13. And as of today, Rachel's challenge has reached and impacted over 13 million people. The catalyst was Rachel's hands. The compassion was seated in her heart, but it came to fruition through her hands, her comforting touch, her powerful writings. What fruit will your hands bear? I want each of you to look at your hands right now. Go ahead. Look at your hands. Study. Reflect. What have you done with your hands? Have your hands become idle? Latched to that remote or Wii controller? Or maybe clenched too often to that credit card? Or maybe gripped too tightly to those golf clubs? Or will you use your hands with greater intention and high-five a child to boost their esteem? Write a thank you to a close friend. Rub the back of a grieving family member. Or maybe act on your talents and paint a picture that brings joy to hundreds. Or compose a song that will inspire thousands. Or maybe the deepest desire for a 26-year-old Toastmaster was to write a speech that would move one human being into action, to re-spark that chain reaction of good across this yearning nation. Get intentional with your hands. Rachel's story has guided my hands in crafting this message for you. And now, Rachel's story is in your hands. It's in your hands. Now seize it.